welcome back. So it's rainy and cold outside, and I thought we could make beef albondigas together. Okay, so here are our ingredients. I have about a pound of ground beef. I have 2 tablespoons of chicken or suiza powder. Some will go into the beef and some will go into the broth. I have 4 Roma tomatoes. I cubed up some potatoes, Italian squash. I have some baby carrots. I have a half a cup of long grained white rice, and I have 2 tablespoons of long grain white rice that will go into the beef. I have a tablespoon of beef bouillon. That's the organic one that comes in the container. I'll show you a picture. A quarter of a yellow onion, a pretty medium-ish clove of garlic, salt and pepper. I have some mint because albondigas are not albondigas if they don't have mint, and some broccoli. So these are your ingredients. I will be using obviously water for the beef broth. Okay, let's get started. I'm gonna start with cutting up some mint and adding it to my beef. I'm sorry if you can hear the washer going. I'm gonna cut these ends off. And then I'm gonna add the stems and all. I think that stems have a lot of flavor, so I'm just gonna do that. It's just a quick little mince here. What is this? Maybe like a quarter cup less? Not quite sure. You know what? Let me measure this out for you. Okay, so let's see. I'm assuming, yeah, like a quarter cup, a little bit more than a quarter cup of chopped up mint. Just got it everywhere. That's okay. So we're gonna do that here. Okay, set this aside. Okay, we're gonna add salt and pepper to your liking, of course. Some salt, again, to your liking. We are gonna add this half of this chicken bouillon powder, so don't add too much salt. There's that. The 2 tablespoons of long grain white rice. There's that. And then to this, we're going to mix it together. Let me take my ring off. We're going to mix it together and make some meatballs. I'm just going to place them here on a cookie sheet that I lined with some parchment paper. I keep my meatballs very, very simple because the mint gives it so much flavor already that you don't really need to add extra spices. I like to also add chipotle peppers to this, but since my little one's gonna eat this, she doesn't really like spicy food. Okay, so use your best judgment. If you think it needs more mint or more rice, then you can go ahead and add some more. I think I'm gonna add more mint to mine, just slightly, a little bit of mint. So let me wash my hands and then cut up some more mint. Okay, so let me cut up a little bit more mint just because I like a lot of mint in mine. Just a little, maybe like this much. Let me cut the ends off again. And then just cut that. And understand that this is not traditional albondigas, but this is just the way I know how to make them. Any tips and tricks, please let me know. If you have any suggestions on how I should do them next time, please leave them down below. And okay, I'm gonna add that here. Mix this again. Again, I like a lot of mint. You don't need to add this much mint if you don't like it. There we go. All right, there's that. And here is our cookie sheet lined with parchment paper. And I'm just going to roll little balls. The size of balls that you want is up to you. I'm going to make them like this. Pretty small, but I like them like that. I like everything to be about the same size. So if you can see that my zucchini and my potatoes are roughly like the same size as the meatballs I'm making, that's why I do them like that. Okay. This is the part that takes the longest, you guys. Everything else is super, 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 super easy. I don't add egg to my meatballs. I know some people do add eggs to their albondigas, and they also add like breadcrumbs and stuff. That's up to you if you would like to add it. Again, this is not what I would consider traditional. It's just the way I know how to make them. This one was too big. Here are our meatballs. Let's clean up and I'll meet you by the blender. So I have to sit my blender on a cutting board over the sink because the extension cord is not long enough and I don't have enough space on my counter. Okay, so in our blender, we're gonna add the tomatoes. I just went ahead and chopped them a little bit. So I'm gonna add the tomatoes in here. Okay, the tomatoes. I'm gonna also add the quarter of an onion and the garlic. I'm gonna fill this up with water. So my max on my blender is 8 cups of water. I added I added water to the 7th cup on my blender here. I'm gonna add the rest of that Nor Suiza. And then we're gonna blend this. Okay, just blend it till it's nice and smooth, and then we're gonna set this aside. So I have a 4-quart Dutch oven here, and I'm gonna add, and then I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of avocado oil. I'm gonna let that heat up, and then we're gonna add our rice. Okay, so once you feel that your oil is hot enough, we're gonna add our long-grained white rice in there, and then we're gonna toast it. Just like if you were making like red rice, we're just gonna toast this. I am gonna put my heat a little bit higher, maybe to like a 7. My stove ranges from it starts at 2 and it ends at 10, so I have it at a 7 right now. And I'm just gonna toast this, and I'll show you what it should look like. It's almost there. You can see it start changing color. The reason I keep mixing it is because I don't want to burn it. And I'm only speaking from experience. So, almost there. Like it's slightly changing color, but it's not completely brown. Okay, so it's just about ready. You can see the toastiness. So to this, I'm gonna add that tomato blend that we made. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more water to this. Okay, I have about 4 more cups of water. Okay, that's perfect. I'm gonna cover this and let it come to a boil, and I will see you back when it's at a boil. I almost forgot to add the beef broth, the Better Than Bouillon beef broth. I'm gonna add it in here. And again, this is just for flavor. You could use beef broth to begin with instead of just adding water to your tomato mix. Okay, so now I'm gonna cover it and let it come to a boil, and I will see you back when it's boiling. Okay, so our tomato and rice mixture is boiling now. And we're gonna drop our meatballs in this. Just be careful, please don't burn yourself. Last one. I'm gonna give it a gentle mix. And then you'll see that the meatballs are already cooking. Oh no, I think I added too much broth. I always do that. I don't know why I always do that. So I'm gonna remove some of this broth. Okay, so maybe instead of adding the 4 extra cups of water, just add 2. I'm gonna remove 2 cups here. There you go, about 2 cups. Okay, I'm gonna let this come back to a boil before adding my potatoes. Yeah, I've gone ahead and drained my potatoes because I had them sitting in water. I'm gonna drop them in here again carefully. I'm gonna cover this again, put this on low, about a 3 on my stove, and let it simmer just till those potatoes are cooked. Okay, so I ended up turning my heat up a little bit just so the potatoes can start cooking a little bit faster. I'm just gonna check the potatoes. just about almost ready. So a couple more minutes. And you see how my meatballs don't come apart, you guys? I think it's because I don't add them until the broth is boiling and then it shocks them. Okay, so just a couple more minutes till the potatoes are ready. I'm going to cover this back up. Okay, so it's been a couple minutes. I'm just going to check the potatoes again. Okay. Good. There we go. Okay, so our potatoes are ready. At this point, go ahead and taste your broth. Add salt and pepper if it needs it. Mine needs salt. So I'm gonna add more salt to mine. And I'm gonna add more pepper. Okay. Mix that in. And then taste it again. That's perfect. Okay, so at this point, since I'm using baby carrots, they're not gonna take very long to cook. Just gonna add those in. I didn't cut them or anything, I just rinsed them out. Okay. And then I'm gonna add the Italian squash in here as well. Oh no, I'm gonna have to take more broth out, you guys. Ugh, how tragic. Okay. And yeah. It's okay, we're gonna make it work. I'm only gonna add some of this broccoli because as you can see, there is no more space in my little pot. Okay, it's about half of it. Yeah. I'm gonna gently push these in. And again, these veggies that I just added are not gonna take long to cook. So I'm just gonna cover this back up. Oh my gosh, we're living on the edge here, literally. I'm gonna cover this back up and then come back to it in a couple minutes. Okay, I'm back to check on the veggies that we just added. Yeah, see, so they're cooking just fine. The potatoes are ready. The carrots, maybe a couple more minutes. If you like your carrots and broccoli to be crunchy still, then I say this is done for you. The squash is cooked. And then that's it. I'm gonna leave mine just slightly longer, maybe like 3 more minutes or so, just because I want those carrots to be nice and soft. Again, once you turn this off and leave it covered, it will continue to cook the vegetables because that broth is extremely hot. And then change whatever you guys like. For more flavor, I would suggest to use beef broth instead of water. Adjust the seasonings to your liking. If you want more nor suiza, then add more nor suiza. If you want more salt and pepper, add more salt and pepper, more mint. It's all to your preference. Veggies as well. The only thing I would recommend is to use a bigger pot, a bigger pot than just the 4 quart. Because as you can see, mine's literally to the tippy top. So yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna cover this, turn it off, let it sit for about 5 minutes before I serve it. Okay, guys, so my mic died at the end of this video, but this is how I like to serve mine. I add a little bit of lime with a corn tortilla, and I also like to add pickled jalapenos. And that will be it for me today, guys. I hope you liked this video. Let me know if you try it. Give me any suggestions on what to do different next time. And yeah, so thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.